To face the truth without flinching is to look directly into the mirror of your life, without filters, without denial, and without justification. It is the rarest kind of courage. Most people walk through life avoiding the truth, not because they don't know it, but because they fear what it will demand of them if they acknowledge it. The truth requires change, and change requires the death of comfort. But the warrior path, the path of true mastery, begins with radical honesty. It is not about what others see, it is about what you know in your bones. No title, no appearance, no praise can hide the truth from the man who is willing to see it. You may lie to others, but the moment you lie to yourself, you invite weakness to take root in your soul. The truth might be that you're lazy. The truth might be that you've been blaming others for your own failure to commit. The truth might be that you talk more than you act, that you plan more than you execute, that you wish more than you work. Whatever it is, the power is not in the pain of the truth, but in what the truth makes possible. You cannot change what you will not confront. You cannot conquer what you pretend does not exist. To face the truth is to sit in the silence and ask the question most fear: where am I falling short? Not because someone told you to ask, but because you want to grow, because you want to evolve, because you want to become a weapon in a world that rewards sharpness and punishes softness. Weakness doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. It shows up as procrastination, as rationalization, as a quiet voice saying you've done enough, but the truth is you haven't, and you know it. A man who seeks truth doesn't wait for life to expose him. He exposes himself. He says, let me see where I'm failing so I can sharpen. Let me see where I'm hiding so I can step into the fire. Let me see where I'm lying to myself so I can speak the truth into my own soul. That is self-respect. That is self-mastery. There is a kind of strength that only comes from standing face to face with your own shadows, not turning away, not distracting yourself, not reaching for a phone or food or someone else's validation. Just standing still and owning what you see. And here is the difference between the strong and the weak. The weak man sees the truth and makes excuses. The strong man sees the truth and makes a plan. One uses the truth to stay down, the other uses it to rise. Painful truth is not your enemy, it is your mentor. It does not come to break you, it comes to build you, but only if you let it. Let me give you a simple, powerful example. There was once a young fighter in training at the temple. Strong body, fast hands, proud heart. He had trained for years and believed he was ready to move up to a higher level. When the master watched him spar, he saw that the boy hesitated every time he was hit. He flinched, he lost form, he fought with fear. After the session, the student came forward and asked for advancement. The master looked at him calmly and said, "You are not ready." The student became defensive. "But I trained harder than anyone. I wake up before sunrise. I never miss a session. I have done everything required." The master said nothing. He simply handed the boy a mirror. "Look into it," he said, "and ask yourself this. Do you face pain with control, or do you still flinch when it strikes?" The boy looked into the mirror. In that moment he saw not just his face, but his fear. He saw the truth he had ignored. He saw that his training was not complete, that discipline had not yet defeated fear, that pride had covered weakness. He bowed his head and said, "I see it now. I flinch. I have not yet learned to hold my ground." The master nodded. "Good. Now you are ready to train at the next level, because now you have faced the truth." That young fighter went on to become one of the most respected warriors in the temple, not because he was the most talented, but because he had the courage to see himself clearly. That courage is the seed of mastery. This is what most people do not understand. When you lie to yourself, you stay stuck. When you face the truth, even painful truth, you unlock power, because you stop negotiating with weakness. You stop pretending, and you start building the real foundation of strength, clarity, honesty, and humility. You will never rise above a weakness you won't admit you have. You will never sharpen a blade you refuse to acknowledge is dull. The path to greatness is not found by pretending you are already great. It begins when you say, "I am not there yet, but I will be." This takes more than motivation. It takes inner steel, because truth can hurt. But the pain of truth is medicine. The pain of lies is poison. The weak choose poison because it tastes sweet in the short term. The strong choose medicine because it heals in the long term. So today, take the mirror. Not just the one on your wall, but the mirror of your mind. Hold it up to your life. Ask yourself the questions that matter. Where am I weak? Where am I dishonest? Where have I settled? And most importantly, what must I do to become who I was meant to be? Then take action. Do not shrink from what you see. Do not curse it. Do not cry over it. Thank it. Because truth is the beginning of power. The man who faces it without flinching walks the path of the master. Comfort is the enemy of growth. It lures you in with soft words and easy choices. It promises peace, but robs you of power. The more you seek comfort, the further you drift from the strength that is meant to shape you. Every great warrior, every master of mind and body, every legend carved in history, chose struggle over comfort, not because they enjoyed suffering, but because they understood this truth. Asterisk asterisk, what is easy will not make you stronger. Asterisk asterisk, only what tests you, breaks you, and reshapes you will. Comfort is a trap. It feels safe, it feels good, but it's an illusion. Nothing grows in comfort. Comfort feeds weakness, and weakness kills potential. The moment you get too comfortable, your instincts begin to fade. Your focus softens, your edge dulls, and slowly, quietly, the fire inside begins to die. But struggle is the forge. Struggle is where greatness is born. Struggle teaches you to endure, to adapt, to sharpen your will. It exposes your limits and gives you the chance to break through them. Struggle does not come to harm you. It comes to asterisk asterisk reveal you. Asterisk asterisk to awaken what lies dormant within, to remind you of your own capacity. The man who runs from struggle never finds himself. He remains a stranger to his own strength. Most people avoid struggle at all costs. They avoid the hard workout, the uncomfortable conversation, the early morning, the lonely night, the silent discipline. Why? Because it's hard, because it's inconvenient, because it demands something from them. But that's exactly why it matters. The value of anything is found in what it costs you. Struggle costs effort, energy, and emotion. But it gives back something no comfort ever will. Asterisk asterisk power. Asterisk asterisk think about the mountains. The higher you climb, the harder the path becomes. The air gets thinner, the rocks sharper, the journey lonelier. But the higher you go, the more incredible the view becomes. The top belongs only to those who endure. No one is carried to the peak. You must climb, and that climb, filled with slips, pain, exhaustion, is what earns you the view. Struggle is your climb. If you live in comfort, you stop climbing. You stop growing. You settle for the middle ground. But you were not born for the middle. You were born to rise, born to fight, born to dominate your weaknesses. That version of you, the one who is focused, disciplined, fearless, that version is not found in the soft places. He is forged in pressure, heat, and resistance. That version of you is hidden behind layers of comfort. You must asterisk asterisk burn those layers away. Asterisk asterisk struggle is not just about enduring pain, it's about asterisk asterisk choosing it asterisk asterisk when it serves a greater purpose. Waking up before dawn to train your body, saying no to distractions so you can master your craft, staying committed to your path when the world tries to pull you off course. These are not accidents. These are choices. Warriors make these choices every day, not because they are easy, but because they are necessary. Let me give you a short but powerful example. There was a student at the temple who had great natural talent. Fast reflexes, strong body, confident mind. For a while, he excelled above his peers without much effort. But over time, he grew comfortable. He stopped pushing himself in training. He avoided the more difficult tasks. When things got hard, he retreated to what felt familiar and easy. One day, during a sparring session, he was paired with a much smaller, quieter student, one who was never praised for talent, but who trained with relentless intensity every single day. The fight began, and within seconds the once confident student was on the ground, breathing hard, overwhelmed. Frustrated, he asked the master why he had lost to someone physically weaker than him. The master replied, "Because he lives in struggle, and you live in comfort. When struggle came, he welcomed it. You ran." That lesson changed everything. The student realized that comfort had made him soft. He started waking earlier, training harder, taking on tasks others avoided. He began to seek out struggle, not for punishment, but for transformation. In time, he became one of the strongest warriors in the temple, not because he had talent, but because he embraced the fire that forged real strength. That story is not just about martial arts. It is about life. The same rule applies whether you're building a body, a business, a mindset, or a mission. If you want something most people will never have, you must do what most people are unwilling to do. Destroy comfort, embrace struggle. But here's the truth that most avoid. Struggle doesn't get easier. You get stronger. Every time you lean into discomfort, every time you say yes to the harder path, you evolve. Your mind becomes sharper, your body becomes harder, your spirit becomes unbreakable. And slowly, you stop fearing the struggle. You begin to welcome it as the path to your higher self. Struggle reveals discipline, it trains patience, it builds mental toughness, it teaches resilience. It sharpens your focus. There is no hack, no shortcut, no secret weapon greater than this. The ability to keep moving forward when things get hard. And that ability is only earned through consistent exposure to struggle. So how do you live this? Start small. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Wake up earlier. Take cold showers. Say no to instant pleasure. Train your body, train your mind. Reject the easy path. Every time you feel the urge to choose comfort, pause, and choose struggle instead. Build the habit of choosing what's hard, what stretches you, what refines you. That is the way of the warrior. Comfort makes you forget what you're capable of. Struggle reminds you, it is not your enemy. It is your greatest ally if you stop running from it. So stop waiting for things to get easier. Stop praying for a lighter load. Train for a stronger back. Because comfort will never lead you to greatness. Only struggle can, and when you embrace it fully, not with bitterness, but with respect, you will unlock a version of yourself you've never seen before, a version that fears nothing, a version that cannot be broken, a version that was born for the storm. To kill the weak version of yourself is not simply a dramatic idea. It is a necessary act of inner war. Every man and woman carries within them two selves, one that wants to rise and one that pulls them down. One that is disciplined, focused, relentless, and one that is lazy, soft, emotional, and addicted to comfort. These two versions are in conflict every day. The weak version lives in your excuses. It hides in your procrastination. It whispers in your mind that you're not ready, that you've done enough, that you should wait for the right time. That version is not your friend. It is the part of you that is most comfortable being average, unchallenged, and unseen. And if you do not kill it, it will slowly kill every dream and ounce of potential you have. The weak version of you does not show up loud. It shows up quietly. It tells you to hit snooze. It tells you that skipping one workout doesn't matter. That watching one more episode is fine. That scrolling for another hour won't hurt. But every small act of weakness adds up. And what most people don't realize is this: the weak version of you is always growing if you feed it. It gets stronger every time you choose what's easy, every time you avoid pain, every time you break a promise to yourself. Killing the weak version of yourself isn't a one-time decision. It is a daily execution. It is waking up and putting that version of you on trial every day. Ask yourself, am I living today in strength or in weakness? If the answer is weakness, then you must go to war. You must act in opposition to what your weak self wants. If your weak self wants to sleep, get up. If it wants to quit, go harder. If it wants to stay comfortable, choose discomfort. That is how you kill it, through action. There is no secret switch that transforms your life. There is only the decision to stop allowing weakness to rule your choices. The weak version of you will say, start tomorrow. The strong version says, start now. The weak version will say, take it easy. The strong version says, push until it hurts. The weak version wants approval. The strong version builds self-respect. You cannot be both. You must choose one. Understand this. The weak version of you is not just holding you back. It is stealing from you. It is stealing time, energy, progress, pride. Every moment you allow it to lead, it takes something from your future. And if you keep listening to it, one day you'll wake up full of regret, realizing you've lived your entire life as a shadow of what you could have been. That's the danger, not failure, not rejection, asterisk asterisk, but being stuck in the middle forever. Asterisk asterisk, to kill the weak version of yourself, you must be brutal, ruthless, not with others, but with yourself. You have to develop a standard that does not bend. You have to hold yourself accountable when no one is watching. You have to stop explaining your mediocrity and start confronting it. This is not about perfection. It is about choosing strength even when you feel weak. It is about doing the hard thing when your mind screams to retreat. It is about taking control back from the part of you that keeps sabotaging your progress. Let me give you a short but powerful example. There was a young man who had always been praised for his potential. He had talent. He had charisma. Everyone told him he could be great. But as the years passed, he remained in the same place, unfulfilled, undisciplined, wasting time. He started to hate the mirror because the face looking back at him was not the man he wanted to be. One night, in a moment of deep honesty, he sat alone and wrote down all the things he had promised himself, but never followed through on. All the habits he said he'd build, all the changes he said he'd make, all the goals he said he'd reach. As he looked at the list, he realized the painful truth. Asterisk asterisk, his life was being lived by the weaker version of himself. Asterisk asterisk, the version that made excuses. The version that quit halfway. The version that cared more about comfort than purpose. That night, he made a decision, a real one, not the kind you say out loud and forget the next day. A decision that lived in action. He set his alarm for 5:00 a.m. The next morning, when the alarm rang and the weak voice in his head said, sleep more, he got up anyway. He trained in silence. He turned off distractions. He started doing the hard things every single day. He kept a journal, not for what he planned to do, but for proof of what he did. Months passed. He didn't talk much. He just worked. People started noticing the change. He had fire in his eyes. His posture was different. His habits were sharp. And when someone asked him what changed, he said only one thing, asterisk asterisk, I killed the version of me that kept lying to himself. Asterisk asterisk, that young man went on to build a life he once only dreamed about. Not because he found motivation, but because he declared war on his weakness and won, every day, one action at a time. This is the truth most people don't want to face. Asterisk asterisk, your weak version is not going to disappear on its own. Asterisk asterisk, you must kill it. Not with talk, not with inspiration, but with choices, with discipline, with consistency. Every rep you push when your muscles burn is a death blow to weakness. Every morning you rise while others sleep, you are burying your excuses. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you are crushing the weaker self beneath your feet. You don't need more motivation. You need more execution, more pain, more discomfort, more days where you look in the mirror and say, I did not let the weak version of me win today. If you want to transform your life, don't chase some imaginary version of success. Chase the version of you that refuses to lose, refuses to be average, refuses to quit. That version is already inside you. But he cannot live while your weak self is still in control. So choose, not tomorrow, not next week, asterisk asterisk now. Asterisk asterisk kill the part of you that's holding back. Bury the version of you that fears discomfort, that settles, that talks instead of acts. And when it tries to come back, and it will, be ready, because this war is not fought once, it is fought every morning, every hour, every moment you decide to be better instead of weaker. This is not about being perfect. It is about being powerful, and power does not come from comfort. It comes from killing again and again the version of you that wants to stay soft. You want to evolve, you want to rise, then there is no other way. Asterisk asterisk kill the weak version of yourself every single day. Asterisk asterisk.